Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk about why is the I-130 petition taking so long? We're going to talk about the top 3 reasons why your I-130 case could be moving slower than it should. And of course, we'll also talk about what you can do about it. Before we get into it, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, go ahead and subscribe now and hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notice of these videos each week. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients all over America and in many different countries where we believe that freedom is now. Freedom to be your best here in the United States is what we're all about. So reach out to McBean Law if you'd like to meet with us. You could request an appointment at 888-462-4006, or you may go to McBeanLaw.com's website where you can request your appointment. Let's talk about this family petition process. What is the I-130? Well, first of all, the I-130 is the underlying petition. It carries the entire case from start until finish. So the I-130 is super important, and it's a petition that can be filed by a qualified U.S. citizen spouse, U.S. citizen parent, U.S. citizen sibling, or an adult U.S. citizen son or daughter. The I-130 case, friends, usually moves much faster if you're considered an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen. Immediate relatives are parents of U.S. citizens, spouses of U.S. citizens, and they are also children who are unmarried and under 21 of a U.S. citizen. And if you fall into one of those 3 categories, your case should move much faster, unless you're going through the process overseas and you have to go to a U.S. embassy, in which case you'll have to wait until the embassy calls you in for an interview. For most embassies, I would say most embassies around the world, they're pretty much caught up now, and their processing times or interview times are much shorter than before. Like during COVID, it was much slower. There are a few embassies where there's still a backlog, and so even immediate relatives have to wait longer than usual. What is the number 1 reason why an I-130 case would be slow? First of all, maybe you're in a category in which no visa is yet available for you. If you're in the family preference system, the family preference system is based on the number of visas that are available each year as determined by Congress in our law. For instance, if you're in the F1 category, your son or daughter, adult of a U.S. citizen, and you're facing several years of a wait time in that category. If you're in the F2A category or F2B category, because your petitioner is a green card holder, you're also facing a wait time. F3 category for married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens also have a significant wait time, as well as the last category, which is the F4 category for siblings of U.S. citizens. They're also facing a very lengthy wait. You've got to look at the visa bulletin, the current visa bulletin. At the filming of this video, the current visa bulletin is the April 2024 bulletin. You will see in chart A what the priority date is for each category. That's what you're going to need to look at primarily, friends, to determine whether a visa is yet available for you. Now, that is typically the number 1 reason why the I-130 case is taking so long. You're in a backlog, you're waiting, and unfortunately, you won't be able to do much with your process until a visa becomes available for you. The second reason why your case is moving slower than you'd like is perhaps there are filing errors with your case. So it could be something as minor as wrong fee, filing fee was submitted to the government, or perhaps you didn't sign the I-130 petition if you're the petitioner, or maybe you're missing some evidence that the government requires of you with your case. And with respect to the evidence, guys, this is where it could get really tricky for some people, because if the government has requested additional evidence or clarification from you through an RFE process, a request for evidence process, well, certainly that will slow down your case. The key documents that typically slows down a case includes waiting for a birth certificate, a marriage certificate, certificate or a divorce decree. If the government finds that what you've submitted to them is not good enough, they will ask you for these authentic documents, copies of these authentic documents. You've got to produce them, and if you do not produce them, it could lead to a denial of your case. Again, the birth certificate, the marriage certificate, the divorce decrees, those are the top 3 pieces of evidence that typically slows down this I-130 case. Why? Because the government wants to confirm that the petitioner is eligible to file for you, that you guys have a real relationship, a genuine relationship. You are indeed the parent of this child, or you are indeed the spouse of this spouse, right? So they're looking for those details. You've got to make sure that you have those key pieces of evidence. The third reason why your I-130 case could be going slower than you'd like is perhaps the government is doing a post-interview background check. Yes, they do a background check leading up to an interview if you're called in for an interview, but perhaps something came up during that interview, or maybe it came up before the interview and they called you in to query you further into the matter, and after asking you some more questions, they've determined that they've got to look a little deeper or closer at the case, and so that process of conducting additional background checks usually takes a while for some people, particularly if it's a complex issue, like for instance, they've got to confirm that you're truly divorced from your spouse in your foreign country. They have to do some more research and check databases to confirm certain documents that you've submitted to them. The post-interview background check can be very lengthy, particularly in marriage cases. I've seen where that process can be a year or even longer for some couples, particularly if the fraud unit gets involved in their case. Now, what can you do to get your I-130 case to be processed faster? Well, first of all, you can file an expedite request if you're eligible for it. The government is looking for very specific criteria to determine whether to expedite your case. And if you meet the criteria, which is on USCIS's website, then you'll be able to submit an expedite request. But I will share this with you guys, that if you're seeking to expedite your case and you're at the National Visa Center level, the NVC, well, the NVC will not expedite your case, or the embassy will not expedite your case unless a visa is available for you in the category for which you're seeking. The other thing that you can do is, if your case is outside of processing times, well, certainly you can file a mandamus, which is a lawsuit to get the government to make that next move in your case, or you can seek assistance from your congressman or congresswoman. This is called congressional assistance, or you can submit a service request or two to USCIS and wait for them to respond to you. Now, friends, if you need assistance with your I-130 case, if things have gotten a little bit messy or tricky for you, certainly reach out. We'd be happy to speak with you about your case and see what we could do to get you back on track. If your case has been denied, we would look at what happened there and try to get you back on track. So reach out to us at McBean Law. We'd be happy to work with you on this. Guys, thanks so much again for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to share it with others, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.